the SGX Nifty, it seems like it's going to be once again a bit of a quiet start. A green day yesterday, managed to scale up near about almost 1% in the green, but a lot of data points that the markets have to digest this morning. Of course, the big one is the US CPI data, largely flat despite coming in higher than expected. But you know, the intriguing bit is that the US equity markets have completely chosen to ignore that. The NASDAQ was up about almost 0.7% overnight. You had a flat move though on the S&P as well as the Dow. The SGX Nifty mildly soft, but yeah, the markets I guess have already priced that in.
Yeah, you know, typically when you see a uptick in inflation and when the inflation uptick is after a flat curve, it just makes you wonder that is worst of the inflation print behind us. If worst of the inflation print is not behind us, then equity markets automatically should have reacted. But they did not react yesterday because on Monday the CPI inflation data for India was high, and last night, even like Aisha mentioned, even for the US market. But haven't we learned this? That markets never react to the same thing twice. The fact that equity market did not react yesterday, the bond yields were stable, dollar index is at still 103, the VIX, which is the most important benchmark of near-term fear, is under check.
It's down 7% in fact.
Yeah, it's under check, it's below 20.
Yeah.
That just tells you that equity markets are this time not panicking because of inflation. This is the same data point which in a sense had set cats amongst the pigeon when it started coming out. So markets are saying that okay, let's ignore this seasonality, but directionally equity markets are telling you that inflation in 2023 will remain under check. Bond market did not show signs of nervousness yesterday for us and for US markets last night. That's my limited point. Is inflation now an old story?
Yeah, the US 10-year at about 3.7, and you have the SGX Nifty this morning. Well, it's indicating a muted start of down about 0.5% or so. Let's focus on our markets because the key driving factors yesterday was the recovery that we witnessed in banks, not just the large caps, but across the board. PSUs as well joined the party, and then a lot of heavyweights really led that up move. The likes of Reliance Industries, HDFC Bank. And Nikunj, the question is, are we set to break out? And if so, what is going to take leadership?
Avan, I think based on the current circumstances, you cannot make a case for a breakout because time and again the breakout trade has failed and the breakdown trade also has not worked out in favor of the bears. I would say that rather than looking at the Nifty percent, talking about Nifty levels, let's look at the internals. I would stick my neck out and say that there are two stocks which matter. First is Reliance, and guess what? Reliance has started moving. Last couple of days, Reliance is showing signs of mild appreciation. Then the other one is HDFC Bank. So these are the two stocks which in my book, they hold the key. So rather than looking at the Nifty and then making a market view, look at these two stocks. If there is a little bit of elevation which comes in Reliance or for that matter HDFC Bank, I think that would be good. Reliance in this week has appreciated by 1.5%. That's approximately 2%. HDFC Bank also posts numbers now. Seems to be in some kind of an outperforming groove, so to speak. The HDFC Bank data point will just come up on your screen. This week and last week, HDFC Bank has outperformed. So my sense is that these two stocks, they hold the key. FIs have turned net buyers. But the breadth of the market is something which is not giving you that much of confidence. So it could be back to, again, few stocks, and a lot of activity could be centered around banks. So I think banks is the leadership, Avan. For markets to go higher, you need banks. IT has done the trick already. And then within that, I would isolate Reliance, like I said, as a stock which will tell you which way markets would move in the near term.
The good thing is that you've got FI participation which is back. I mean, call it a function of all the block deals which have been happening off late. But yes, they've been buyers for a third consecutive day.